Hey everybody, welcome back. Birdland plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Great run last time. More of that, please. More of that. Samson, don't mind. Sorry, dude. It's one of those things. I know we talked about Starbucks in the last episode. I came across as very whiny. I apologize, but also I own it. 7SC4YYK9. The coffee never ends. It's as simple as that. The coffee from Starbucks, it never ends. If you get a venti and they fill it up with ice, it will melt at exactly the pace of your drinking. It's like an infinite coffee. Now, obviously, it gets more diluted over time, but like your brain doesn't need to know that because your caffeine demands go down the more caffeine you consume. It's actually like a perfect vessel. It's a self-buffering system. How about that? Self-buffering. See, I know a little bit about chemistry. I'll have you know I did what every other biology student did in university. I took organic chemistry, did well enough to pass the class, and then opted out of taking the second half of it, and instead I took an elective class that fulfilled the same credit requirements, which was biochemistry, which is basically, they might as well have called it like chemistry for normies. Instead of having to work out chiral models and stuff like that, they were just like, hey, don't eat castor oil. And I was like, one step ahead of you. I know what you're thinking, by the way. NL, are you going to take anti-grav? It's a task, okay? It's a thinker. I don't want to. I'll start there. I don't want to, but it is one of those things where you're like, am I gonna regret not having taken a tiers upgrade later? And the answer is often yes, but it might not be yes on this one. We have the ability to kind of punch our own ticket as far as damage goes. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, I think shooting straight is probably more valuable than getting that tiers upgrade right now. So I am gonna be the bad guy, and go down to the next floor. Here's a question for you. I call this the age test, okay? Let's see how old you are. What year did Bad Guy come out? By Billie Eilish. In my head, I can't tell you the answer. I mean, if you answered, like, 2019, right off the bat, you're under the age of 25. I promise you, okay? Or you work in her entourage. Or in the music industry, I suppose. Oh, that's what we're talking about right there. I could not tell you. I sincerely could not tell you. And it's not I'm not trying to be like, oh, I care about more important things, like the interest rate.
Commit to your battle wisely.
It's literally
Every
just that, like,
counts.
the years start to blur together so much. It's crazy. Like, to me, Iggy Azalea's Fancy and Billie Eilish's Bad Guy came out, I would say, about a year apart. But I know in my head that can't possibly be
3 lives left.
because Fancy is from 2014. And Bad Guy, I think it's from 2018? I don't know, though. I'm sorry, my voice got very high, but it's because I was, I'm reconciling it in my head that, the years get so truncated.
This is
Not
it.
truncated, but like pushed together, they get so compressed. When you're younger, and this is not a lamentation, if anything, I think taking a
1
broader
minute
view sometimes
left.
can be valuable, but when you're younger, like every month has its own identity. When you get older, you're like, I don't know, somewhere in that corridor. Somewhere in that 2015 to the time that I died in 2082 corridor, Mom's coin purse, not exactly a stellar pickup, but you at least check it, And you know what? Let's be this guy, okay? Let's be the guy who takes close attention. If I could, I would just focus on
Enemy team has no reserves left.
you guys know
Finish them.
Yankee Hotel Foxtrot by Wilco? Come on.
Not enough.
You don't know
Not
Yankee
over.
Hotel Foxtrot? I am an American Aquarian drinker.
Your enemy has a lead on you.
My
Take
favorite
it.
Wilco album is Summer. Get out of here! I have no son. Oh, look, I'm not trying to be too rude. I mean, at least it's not a Ghost is Born. Yuck. I say that as someone who owns a Ghost is Born. But, yeah, that's right. NL knows Wilco. Come on. I don't just, sing Deacon Blues in my car. Sometimes I'm like, it's hot in the poor places tonight. Do, 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 do. I'm not going outside. I'm not like other dads. I'm a cool dad. I know all the things. Well, maybe even 2002 till about 2010. Ask me anything about these. Half price?
2 for 1.
Half price
Enemy
item?
team
Okay,
has
so
no
I'm gonna
reserves
get
left.
spicy here because I think Black
Finish
Candle is worth. Oh well, never mind.
1 minute left.
I was gonna
The
open the golden
enemy
chest
is
and then,
out of second
If
chances.
we got Black Candle, it would have paid for the. Oh, okay, easy enough. It would have paid for the spirit heart that we spent because it would have given us a spirit heart. But anyway, we got it. We got it anyway. Anyway, moving on. The the volume is higher than it was the last time I did this.
Your team's out of line. One opponent standing.
How about that?
30 seconds. Both teams out of reserves. End
Now,
them.
if there is a room that is indicative of modern Isaac, I think that this room pretty much fits the bill. 3 red chests that all contain bombs. That's incredible.
You're the last
How am I
guardian
doing?
standing.
Thank you for asking. I'm doing
Fine.
well. Having one of those days where, like, did not sleep well, but I'm in kind of like a delirium point.
Tiebreaker active. The end is
Like
coming.
I mentioned
Fight.
that I had to pick the
You're
rumors
knocked out.
and all of our
Your opponent's got
chores,
the better
all of our
of you.
errands either fall on a Saturday now, or if that's not possible, then we're like, what's the earliest you're open? And they're like,
Your
8,
opponents have a
20,
lead.
if we push it, and I'm like, all right, see you at 8:15. I thought that might give us the seconds. I realized I was driving to the business with the other commuters, which is so stupid of me to just like deliberately take damage at this. I was the only guy singing in my car. Let's put it that way. Everyone else was like, move, move. I was like, learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel, voice crack and all. Drink Scotch whiskey all night long. You can't just not finish the series. Die,
Three lives left.
I'm in a good mood. I don't know. Just a good place right now. Busy, yes,
Only
but
1 minute
not in a
left.
bad way. Like feeling fulfilled. It's nice. What can I say? I'm sorry. Maybe if we can get a consumable, like if we can get a nice tarot card and then drop it back in that room, we'll be stoked. I didn't even talk about the fact that we got Deadshot, or Deadeye. But that's a beautiful item.
It's time, Guardian.
I hope you'll forgive me for
Crush
being
them.
confused about the name of this item, because like,
30 seconds.
can you believe that
All I ask
Deadshot,
is that you survive.
Deadeye,
Last
and
life.
Deadpool, and Deathstroke are 4 different things? Like, I don't know, Deathstroke
No
it
lives
sounds
left
like a
for your
movie
enemy.
about...
Destroy. No more
Can
lives
you
on
just
your
write the
side.
rest of the punchline yourself? Sounds like a movie where a monster comes and eats you after you play with yourself, okay? Which sounds...
10
I mean, if you're looking for outside investors, and you're trying to make that movie,
Tiebreaker
I do think
active.
I want this.
You have
Oh.
one last shot at survival.
Hold on. Is starter deck worth our whole stack? I think no. I think we want something better. More options. It's probably good enough, but let's take it and roll with it. Deadpool is
One enemy left. 2 for 1.
We should
All
be using
opponents
D1 on the shop, by the way,
defeated.
but I'm lazy right now, I guess. Deathstroke. I think Deathstroke is he's the DC version
Enemy is
of
in the lead.
Cable.
Not
Something
for long.
like that. I don't know. Something along those lines. Look, of all the superhero powers, and you gotta suspend disbelief. But the one that I have the most trouble suspending my disbelief with is a guy who's like very good at shooting arrows. Like that's just okay. Hold on, this is a little dangerous. That's the one where, and you know, it's all unrealistic. Don't get me wrong. But I will admit that that's the one where I go, I just don't buy it. I mean, like Hawkeye versus Thanos, you're like, I get it, okay? Like he's what's weird about it is that it's not even that I'm in disbelief. Is that the ones you have to jump to powerful, almost make them so powerful that it's
1 minute,
right?
you're neck and neck on
Like whenever
reserve.
people are like, who's winning the fight, Superman versus Batman? And you know, the average person is like, well, Superman, because he's like a god and he has heat vision and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, people that actually know what they're talking about are like, well, Batman, if he had time to prepare, is the ultimate detective, and he studies his opponents and would plan out the engagement perfectly, so he would win as a result. So at that point, you're just like, okay, so literally Batman is not defeated, definitely. You know, Batman, despite being, he's just a normal guy who's got a lot of money and is good at you know, detective stuff and preparation. Okay, so he literally can't be defeated. If Superman can't beat him, and Superman can use laser vision to vaporize a target from an infinite distance away and fly backwards around the Earth to travel back through time, if he can't defeat Batman, and Batman is just die, right? Like I'm not getting, or at least I'm not trying to get too invested in who would win kind of battles. You know, I'm a little. It's
which of you will survive?
It's not my fight. Let's put it that way. But at the same time, I'm like, whenever people are like, oh, like Hawkeye the thing is, like, yeah, he only shoots arrows, but he never misses. Like he would just shoot the of Superman's body. It would shoot a kryptonite arrow, and you're like, okay, then Hawkeye can't be killed. What happens if Hawkeye fights Batman? Oh, well, Batman could. It's what happens when. It's not that much damage here, but. Well, Batman can defeat anybody when he has time to prepare, but Hawkeye's arrows never miss. So Batman would prepare a force field around him that had anti-arrow technology, but Hawkeye would simply use his arrows and shoot the generator for the force field that has the anti-arrow technology, but Batman would have seen that coming with enough time to prepare. So Batman would have put a force field with anti-arrow technology around his force field, and like it just it hits the point where you're just like, their power is so weak that the justification to have them around is so outlandish that they've become like omniscient. Well, I don't even really know anything about comic books, so not only have I taken it too far, but I'm not on my own. This room is very easy. Just gotta focus on the Gertie fight for now. Because like big room Gertie is actually kind of tough. Because you have to watch the shots. Usually on the Gertie fight, you're just chilling. You know, you're dodging completely out of the frame of their attacks. This time, we have to be a little bit more, you know, we gotta train reflexes. Not the easiest thing to do. Fight for sure. I see the tears upgrade goes a long way.
Tiebreaker active.
So hear me out here.
This is not the end.
This is a horrible decision, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why? I want to fly. Put your arms around because now you say something that's probably not controversial, but
you're the last guardian standing.
Probably the best sugar race. I have an idea, okay? It looks like this. Pick this up. Use a temperance card. Walk into it once. Pick this up.
Been knocked out.
pick this up.
Your enemy won the round.
It's a little spicy, but if we get the HP out of this, we're gonna be loving it. I thought about duplicating
Opponent has match point.
the
Meaningless. Fight on.
Temperance card, and then, you know, we could blow up like 3 blood banks. I've decided to play it a little more coy, if you will. I'm a little worried about Telefrag. That's what concerns me. A Telefrag champion.
3 lives left.
We'll definitely not be taking Isaac's heart here, because it's a slap on the face. It's another room that's quite dangerous because of enemies with infinite range. But I'm feeling pretty confident. I know there's some comedic timing potential there, but all we have to do, really, especially with the D1, our ability, if we get a Spirit Heart or a Demon Heart, our ability to
This is it.
iterate upon that and create
No more
HP
lives.
for us is so high that I don't really feel that under threat. Now, the flip side is that if we get hit once, we could die. If we get hit once by any enemy, we're going to be on notice, but if we get hit once, we could die. We're also getting like a super nice benefit out of the item that we took to put us in this position to begin with. Not going to do one much, but I really want to save the charge. A room like this is kind of a balancing. That's what we're looking for. Now just be careful. We want to like pick up every other consumable.
30 seconds remaining.
I think I heard some. I didn't even blow it up. We'll leave one there, but we definitely want to try to get some. Anyways, like, I think we were already going to win, but I think this is what we needed to take it a step further. So we'll take
down.
this. And honestly, I think we'll take this as well. I don't mind taking the Hermit in this
The
situation.
enemy has won.
And I honestly believe we're going to get the blood bank. In my heart of hearts, I see the blood bank. I see the blood bag, I should say.
Comes to us all from time to time.
Sorry, again, the coffee, it never gets to my own. Mission failed. However, secret room obtained. Greed, I don't mind, because we have this beautiful Hermit card. What was I talking? I was talking about the superheroes. I don't know, man. What do I know? I find the superhero. Maybe I'm just too literal, I guess. And I don't mean that as a compliment to myself, but whenever people talk about like which superhero would win, I'm always like, you guys are missing. You're talking about all their powers and stuff like that, but you're missing the most important power of all. Who do the writers want to win? Any power that you can have as a superhero pales in comparison to what you're capable of doing if the writers want you to succeed. Just my 2 cents. But I know, and then the other thing is, I guess the part of it that I respect a little bit more is that it's not meant to be like who would really win unless you kind of lose the point. It's more meant to be like, it's just a way of arguing that's kind of like, you know, it's fun, you know? Yeah, well, no, you didn't hit me because I was behind a bulletproof shield. Yeah, well, Tony Stark, his arc reactors, I put kryptonite in his arc blaster so he can be, you know, oh, but Superman has an anti-kryptonite crest on his chest now. You can't have anti-kryptonite. Super greed, super greed. If you give me a quarter, I would be pleased. And okay, business is usual. Beggar, also known as a waste of everybody's time. However, thank you for the free item. I gotta say, I'm looking at our timing right now, and I'm saying to myself, I think we're eating lunch. I don't think it's a granola. Let me put it this way, okay? With these lunches that we get, I would say about half of them are easy to eat wraps, and the other half of them require, you know, heating them up and then and sitting down and eating them. So usually I like to have like maybe before the stream, I like to have a little bit of a wrap.
You saw what the hive did to the elixir on the shore. That will push anyone to the
wrap stuff.
Red Bull fruit. Cabal have no limits.
Then let's
And then
give
after
them
the
some.
stream, had some, I don't know, it was like a, basically like a, you got your short meals and you got your longer meals. This might even be a longer lunch. I'm trying to think of what I only got a barbecue chicken wrap there. What else we got? It's like this kind of coconut, weird sauce. I don't call food weird oftentimes. It's just something about it. I like the flavor of coconut. There's something about this coconut. It's not my favorite, but I keep eating it. Because I'm like, when I'm eating it, I'm like, I think this is supposed to be. But I'm just missing something. It's like listening to 100 Gens for the first time. I'm like, oh, I think it's good, but I don't know why, I guess. Because it's kind of unpleasant, but I think that's part of it, right? Is that it's got a garish sort of aesthetic that works for it. Like it's like, and I don't mean this in a negative way. Did you ever have like those planners that you could get from school, and they had kind of like a vinyl cover, so if you put your fingernails and ran them on the cover, they're like it kind of sounds. I know how this sounds. Kind of sounds like that, but like in a way where you're like doing the Jay-Z head bob. Yeah, tell me more. That was an amazing box. But I like the way they make that coffee taste. So yeah, but I did something so to say I had a bad day. I got like really, I'm amped. I got no cold. This is where we're at. You see Netflix and making me. Whoa, how about that? Well, I watched it. Probably not. Let me put it this way. You still haven't watched the Transylvania. You should, and it's really good. And I should do a lot of. I should start running again. And I should. Hey, you think the says something wrong back there? Brush your teeth. What's the fun after you see it? Give some butts to candy and nuts eat all of them. He's off the rails. He's off the rails. He doesn't like it what after it proves. No, I wasn't. I'm very pro today, but we do not have one. Maybe someday. I know you can get it. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, the solution to the problem is apparent, but the actual severity of the problem is. I worry about it. I kind of wonder about people sometimes when they're like, I'm not just trying to put Hassan on blast. I talk about it as if we're friends. Really, I just talk from time to time. Talk about it in my own content, and as if we're buddy. I'm like Jim Carrey in The Cable Guy, but he talks about like, best purchase per day changed my life. And sometimes I just think it was your butt situation like before. I'm not saying it's a paradise down there for me, but and I've used the bidet. I have no quarrel with the bidet. I'm a big fan of Japanese toilets. My favorite part of them is not the bidet. My favorite part of them is when you sit on them. They play some of them at least play a fancy kind of like rainforest sound, which allows you to let out that first little bit of gas without embarrassing yourself. Very nice, especially in like a hotel room situation. You know, you shouldn't be embarrassed, don't get me wrong, to fart in front of your spouse. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's still kind of gross when you hear someone go to the toilet and then like 2 seconds later it sounds like they're, you know, squeezing out the last little bit of the dish soap bottle. It might actually be the best metaphor I've ever made. It's exactly what I was trying to get across. You know, when it's going through the little nozzle and it goes like... Sorry, I'm eating. I'm trying to sleep. Okay, I'm trying to work. You don't hear me complaining. Where's the boss? Come on, man. This is outrageous. Won't somebody think of the screen? But whenever people are like, the bidet changed my life, I'm like, man, you must like... I think you're wiping it too hard. I think it's an improvement, but change your life. My word. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe at some point. I was always thinking, do you think Elvis, if Elvis were still alive, and don't say he is, okay? Don't do that. Don't give me hope. But do you think if Elvis were still alive, he would lose his mind at the fact that everybody has a phone in their pocket? Because I remember that when I was a kid, that was like Elvis's, I mean, he died before I was born, but that was like the flex. It's like Elvis was so rich, he had a phone in his bathroom. I think what the flex really says is not that he has a phone in his bathroom, but it's that Elvis is so rich he could call people while he was pooping, and they'd be like, you know what, I'm going to tolerate this because he's the king. Anybody else, if they called you and they were pooping, you would be like, just call me back. Gross. If it's Elvis, you're like, tell me more. Yeah, ooh, wow, that was a good one. By the way, I have no patience for the idea that Elvis is still alive, and I'll tell you why. If anybody was going to fake their own death, they would not do it in the way that Elvis actually died, which is eating so many 6-egg omelets and fried peanut butter sandwiches that he had a heart attack on the toilet. Anybody faking their own death would, and then is absconding to, like, you know, Hawaii or something like that, they would be like, oh, he died tragically saving an orphanage from a fire. They wouldn't be like, yeah, he had no self-control and he had a heart attack on the toilet because he was too fat. That's not the way anybody wants to be remembered, you know? Or maybe that's what makes it the perfect crime. Maybe, so if I ever fake my own death, there you go. Then this is just going to be my luck, right? I'm going to die from some kind of heart attack on the toilet, and then people are going to be like, he's still out there. I'm going to be really upset if I actually die saving an orphanage from a fire, because people are never going to believe it now. I'm going to die nobly, and they're going to be like, no way, man, you probably died J&O. I think I've lost it, man. I think I've lost it. I'm having fun with it. Let's not say... if you can laugh at the things you're saying, that doesn't make you crazy. Maybe it makes you the only person who sees how twisted this world really is. We live in a society, etc., etc. I hate when you laugh at your own joke, and people are like, it's the same as like whenever you use like a minor chord, or not that I know anything about music, but whenever an artist uses a minor chord in a song, or like says something about like, you know, a rhyme makes no sense. Wow, they were like definitely on drugs when they made this. Whoa, what were they smoking when they wrote Remember Me for Centuries by Fall Out Boy? I don't know. Just had an important message that I had to check out. We're on the chest already? Well, dude, what a run. I mean, these items are not really what you're looking for, but what a run, right? We don't need the D1 anymore. Give me Crooked Penny. I don't want to dupe that stuff because it's useless, but if we get some other items, we might consider giving it a shot. This is a great couple of runs today. Nice way to start my morning off, honestly.
Maybe not. Guess we'll see.
I think if you can laugh at your own jokes, it's a good sign. There's weird stuff. Like, there's rules in society that, or not rules, but guidelines maybe, that I think we just kind of like, you know, people older than us invented them, and we never thought to re-examine them. Like, people will actually say things like, oh, I hate when someone laughs at their own jokes. Okay. Get over it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes, I say some stuff that's not that funny, for sure. Sometimes, I crack myself up. Look, maybe it's not the nice thing to say, but there are situations, sometimes, like when I'm, and we're not going to name names for the other side here, just out of polite.